Hi, my name is Tori Kovacevic, and I'll be giving a presentation on an employee work from home benefit from Marine Credit Union. The reason why I am presenting this is because I want to explore the possibility of a work from home benefit for the employees at Marine Credit Union in order to give them the tools to further succeed in their position. The problem is bad weather, which Wisconsin is known for, especially in the winter. We actually had roads closed that prevented myself from getting to work. Thankfully, there was a nearby office less than a mile away that I had an open office that I could work out of, but that wasn't always the case. During the polar vortex, my car wouldn't start and I was stuck at home. I also work with a mother, and she has a kid that generally gets sick. Actually, quite often gets sick. And because of this, she has to miss work sometimes, either her or her husband. Deadlines also can't be missed, and sometimes you just get too busy at work to make those deadlines. And this would be a great way to hopefully ensure that maybe if you put in extra hours, you'll actually meet your deadlines. Not only that, but this helps servicing our members. A lot of the time, when unexpected weather comes in or when an unexpected child of ours gets sick, we don't know that the day before. And we tell our members that we're working with, we'll get back to them the next day, within the next couple hours, we'll call them. And if we're not at work, we can't do that. So offering a solution to help us help our members out in situations like that so that they're still being serviced to our expectations and theirs would be amazing. Here are the advantages. Employees get a sense of agency. They feel important and they feel trusted, and all around that's great. Their amount of absences are actually limited because in situations before where you had to leave work due to your child being sick, you couldn't come into the bad weather. Generally, you had to use PTO and you had to use your sick days and you had to be gone from work. Not anymore. With this benefit, you wouldn't have that problem. You would still be able to get work done at home. It's also not a one size fits all policy, meaning that some companies fully are remote working. They're at home every day and they clock in day out. They never leave their home. Some companies only use it when necessary, like when there's bad weather and you can't make it in, or when your kid's sick, or when you're sick and you really just don't want to get other people contagious, but you still feel like you can get your work done. There's also an increase in productivity. Generally, a lot of people actually feel that the day to day office routine is more distracting than being alone at home. The chit chat, the gossip, the walking around, the grabbing coffee can be more distracting than your home. And that makes sense. It's also an extra option for employees who are just looking for that extra thing where they don't have to use their PTO or their sick days when they aren't able to make it in. Some of the disadvantages are security concerns. Um, Being that we work at a financial, it's no secret that if we leave with a laptop every day, we're also taking with us a lot of sensitive information. So having that outside of the office can be scary. There's also the work-life balance issue. Marine Credit Union is a company that values work-life balance quite a bit, and it's the reason why we haven't implemented a benefit like this before. If we were to implement a benefit like this, it would have to be something where employees would not be able to work 24/7. They need to have a life outside of work so they're not constantly stressed and they can relax. Work culture could also suffer. Generally, work culture is where companies succeed. When your employee is ready to come in every day, they're excited, enthusiastic, that that energy gets fed off to our members and they see that and it makes the experience all around better for our members. Unfortunately, when you're working from home, work culture doesn't exist because you're not in the office. There's also more possibility for conflict, meaning that we're more communicating through email and IM versus face to face. Now, a lot of miscommunication can happen this way. You can't hear the tone, you can't see the person's facial expression, you don't know how they're saying something. So Susan could be you feel like Susan is sending you an email that really is downright mean, but Susan thinks it sounded fine and she was trying to be nice. There could easily be a miscommunication in that if we were sending that through IM or email. Some of the possible positions to get this benefit would be the deposit operation team members, mortgage and consumer loan officers, loan processing team members, and the corporate positions that include computer work such as marketing, accounting, assistants, IT, etc. The reason why these would be the people who would get this benefit is because our members are counting on them, and not only that, but they have the ability to do their job at home. They don't necessarily have to be in the office working with members to do their job. With tellers, it's a little bit different. They have to be at the bank, but in these situations, they really don't. In executing this benefit, there are two different options. First is the software option, which is SpaceX times 10. This is a Windows desktop duplication app. So basically, your computer at home can duplicate your work screen at work. Unfortunately, we would need a separate VPN so that the network could be secure. There's no cost to download, but it's not as secure. The hardware option, which I found to be the best in my opinion, is the Lenovo ThinkPad Carbon 6th generation. We actually already have ThinkPads at work, but I'm not necessarily sure what generation they are, what version they are. But this specific one has long battery life, it's lightweight, 14 inches, it's very secure. There's lots of ports for different plugins for your desktop at work. And then also, not only that, it's $12,000 a unit, which it could be worse. As far as tracking time for non-exempt employees, we can actually use ADP remotely. We just have to unlock that feature. ADP is the software that we already use for tracking time. There's also a different few things that should be taken into account for this. There should be an agreement on what hours worked means. So hours worked means hours where you are doing your job and you are working, not when you're getting up and going to play video games for an hour or going to watch TV for an hour. You weren't working that hour. So an agreement signed on what hours worked means, to be very clear, is very beneficial and very important for this to work. Also, not only that, but overtime expectations. Same thing. We need to have an agreement here for the expectations as far as overtime goes. They can't be working until 10 o'clock every night. They can't be logging in every weekend. We need to have that work-life benefit. And not only that, but signing an agreement and them acknowledging the fact that they know what's right and wrong with this benefit. It allows the opportunity where if they don't and if they are abusing this benefit, we can take action against that. All around, though, we just need to have trust with our employees. To be honest, a lot of the arguments towards not having a work from home benefit stem from how do we know that they're actually working? And here is an argument towards that. Do you think that your manager is standing behind your back every single time that he comes by, or all day even, watching you do your job, making sure that you're working all the time? No, I don't know a single manager that does that. Generally, they trust you in the office and they can't see you. Why is it different at home where they can't see you? So my recommendations are we should implement a benefit like this at Marine Credit Union. While there is the worry of security and work-life balance, I think that there are ways that we can really get past that. For instance, if we were to get some sort of agreement on what hours worked means, on what overtime you should be getting, and having them acknowledge that and sign it, I really think that our employees will stick to that because we have honest employees. Not only that, but I trust the employees at Marine Credit Union to take this seriously and not to abuse this benefit. As far as security goes, there's software out there that we can use, and not only that, but there are laptops that can be locked that we can use, just like our work computers. They might not be locked in our office, but they're locked in our homes. And as far as people in our homes get into them, I mean that's something that we can address. But employees are taking, even at different companies, are taking their laptops home with sensitive information on it all the time. It's nothing new that has happened. I think that this could be a great benefit for those who get caught in bad weather, who have a sick kid, they can't come in. Ultimately, they feel really defeated, and this is a way for them to stay productive and still help us out and help out our members. And the biggest goal in Marine Credit Union is to make sure our members are getting serviced effectively and efficiently, and that they do get the service that they need. So all around, I really do think that Marine Credit Union would benefit greatly from a benefit like this. And here's my works cited.